Today I'm going to be talking about Scream 7 and how I felt about this. Honestly, I'm going to start this out with a spoiler free review and then I'll jump into spoilers after. I'll let you know. But this movie does do a lot right, but it does a lot wrong. It's still a decent movie, but it's not theater worthy. A lot of what I have is towards the ending, and I'm sure a lot of other people agree that the ending isn't great. But to say this is a terrible movie and probably the worst movies that ever came out and is a disgrace to the Scream franchise is a lie. It's not. It's not that bad. It's still a good Scream movie. Like it still has those things in the movie that make it worth watching. Just like Scream 3, which is my least favorite. Even though it's not the best Scream movie to me, it still has good qualities to make me watch it through the franchise. And yeah, this one just doesn't do as much justice as the other ones do, but the good qualities make it worth watching. And honestly, there's a way to fix this. Like there's always ways to fix this, and I'm going to talk about a way to fix it after because I've always taught don't complain unless you have a solution. So yeah, I'll get to the solution later, but watch the movie first before I get into the spoiler. But honestly, that's all I can say without spoiling it. So yeah, go check it out. Wait for streaming. Don't watch it in theaters. You'll probably like it more at home than you would in theaters, and you'd probably be happy to see it in theaters. So now I'm gonna jump into spoilers. So if you don't want to get spoiled, bow out now. But if you're watching this on TikTok, that's all I'm doing. So yeah, jumping into spoilers. Honestly, my biggest issue with this movie is the killer. Finding out who it was very, very disappointing. Like I would have been happy if it was Stu, but using the AI technology to be able to say like, oh yeah, the AI generated it. All right, all right, you that was cool, but like, I mean, the killer's motive in this movie is literally just you stopped writing your book. That's literally it. That's just it. Like, there's nothing else. And the other killer's just, oh yeah, she found me, and I was like on board. Like, bro, like they didn't even look like a couple. They just looked like they just jumped into this. It's just like we've had you've ruined my parents' marriage, which ruined my life. We've had you killed my son, so I want to kill you. We've had you're my sister, where I got the worst life ever because of our mom, so I'm gonna kill you. We got I'm tired of being your shadow. I want to be the main person now. Um, what 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 happened with this one? And 5 and 6 too, where they do have like motives that are understandable. Fans do want to be part of the story, so they will do whatever they can to be part of it. And plus, the for 6, the father did lose his son to these girls, so they did want to get revenge, which is understandable completely, and the motives made sense. Was I a fan of the killers? No, but at the same time I was still like, you know what, this is kind of cool. I liked the concept of 3 killers for 6, and I liked the concept of what they did with 5. So this one I can't understand it. Like if you understand it, please explain it in the comments because I will never understand the purpose of these 2 killers. Like it literally made no sense to me. But it sucks because the movie is actually really good. Like the whole beginning part of this movie had me pulled in, had me entertained to the fullest extent. And I just don't know what else to, what went wrong. Like what else they thought once they got to that ending. Like it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't make me want to continue watching. Honestly, like it didn't make me wonder if they were gonna make a sequel, and I hope they do, but I don't think they are. We'll find out, but I feel like the reviews might not be that great on this one. And there's just a lot of controversy, but that's a whole topic for another day. Um, it's just it wasn't good towards the end, but you know what? That's just my biggest gripe of it. Let's get to the beginning. The beginning is great. I love the fact that you get to see Sydney and her daughter able to have a relationship that's a little distant, but it's because Sydney keeps so much of her past hidden, which is funny because it made me think of Halloween Kills or Halloween, I think it was, yeah, because it's Halloween 2018. Yeah, yeah. So when Halloween 2018 came out, it was a little bit different than what we were getting because the trauma was just very much there. Like she made it her whole life. Michael's coming back. He's gonna kill me. I have to prepare my daughter. I have to make her understand my life, what I went through. Every little detail has to be like extensively like there. So in this movie, it's I know my past and I don't want my daughter to live it. So in order for me to do that, all I'm gonna do is basically just make it not her life, and which is understandable. If you're not understanding what I'm saying, is she didn't grow her daughter up telling her the horrific stories that she went through when she was in high school, college, and growing up as an adult. She didn't make her daughter live her past. She didn't make her daughter live through her eyes. She made her daughter live as distant as possible from what she went through. So, because of that, though, there is a consequence. Now, with Halloween, it was different because it was, hey, it's been 25 years. He's been locked up. I forgot how the timeline, so don't correct me. I'm just throwing that out there. It's been a while. But yeah, it's been years, like he's not coming to get you. Why are you freaking out? This one's different though, because with Sydney, it's almost like, hey, dude, this happens often. Like we have a whole 6 movies based off this. Like and the Stab franchise, I think, is a lot more extensive because I think they have like 10 movies in there. I don't know. I didn't do my research before doing this, so don't correct me, but it's still a little bit different. It's still interesting to see like how she wanted to hold it back, but it's understandable because like a lot of times with your kids, you don't want them to live through your trauma. You want to hold the trauma away and not show them what you went through because honestly, the you don't want them to know the pain you went through, and it's understandable completely. It's a part of the movie that is real. I didn't like the reaction of the daughter, especially when her boyfriend like snuck into her room. That one, I don't know. When Tatum asked Sydney like, "Oh, like can he stay now that you know he's here?" Dude, like what? And then she got mad at Sydney, like, what? Yeah, okay, yeah, cool. Just go do your thing. Devils tango it up. Like, nah, bro, it's the middle of the night. Like, he's not staying. Like, what? That wasn't even like a trauma thing. That was just like, dude, come on. Who's gonna let their daughter's boyfriend just stay in their room after he snuck in? Like, bro, first of all, you didn't use the door. Second of all, you didn't ask. Third of all, what the fuck? You have school the next day. Don't do it. Stop. Just stop. Just stop. But you know what? That's just the way it looks. It was just like very irritating when they had stuff like that. And it's interesting to see how much she doesn't understand why her mom doesn't want to talk about it because her friends see very understanding of like, your mom did go through a lot. I watched all the movies. There's a whole, documentary on it. There's everything. Like, there's books. When you read through all this material, honestly, it'll make me not want to know, like, what happened. But I do understand at the same time. She just, like, wants to understand. She wants to, like, let her mom open up. And her, Sydney not opening up was a big consequence because now Tatum doesn't know what to do in this situation. This whole time she's being chased by this killer, she's looking at it from a perspective of someone who's never been in here. And we're used to seeing that because ever since Scream 2, we've got new characters who are just like, yo, what do we do in this situation? Like, how do I handle this? How do I go to my day-to-day life? Scream 4 is a big example of that because they were all just like, how do we move knowing the cops are just watching us all the time? Like, why do we have to be like around these people? This doesn't make sense, like this and that. They're very upset about it, and it's understandable completely. But for this one, it just seemed like, I don't know, like they seem more clueless with a lot more information, but at the same time, I don't know. I still enjoyed it. I felt like the characters were very real and they felt very grounded. I did feel like they got wiped out a little too quickly. I did like the kills in this movie. Those ones were really good, but yeah, everyone getting wiped out a little fast was kind of like a big downer for me because you like the suspense. You want it built up. You don't want it to be like, oh, she's down. Oh, he's down. Oh, they're down. Like, nah, dude. Like, build it up a little bit, build it up, you know. But you know, in this movie too, you don't get another cameraman who decides to leave in the beginning of the movie because things are getting too tough, which he was the smartest man in the whole Scream franchise. But it's just like everyone else is just, you know, they're here along for the ride and they all just keep letting everyone leave by themselves, which made me very upset because we have two characters from 5 and 6 who come back and they do quote this. They say, should we have let Tatum leave with her boyfriend? And they said, oh, we probably shouldn't have. Yeah, you'd think after you both got stabbed multiple times in the past, you know, couple years, like you wouldn't want her to be alone with someone right now. Like you've been through this twice. Like what, why would you guys not be overprotect? I would have been overprotect. I would have been like, you guys aren't going anywhere alone. It's like, oh, I'm not the killer. I don't care. You're not going alone, guys. Right, there's a killer out there. There might be more. We've been through three of them at once. Like, you guys are not leaving. Like, you guys are outnumbered half this time. Like, why are you trying to leave? Like, that would have been the reasonable thing. And they don't go that route, which I'm like, do these characters really learn where they come from? And you know, Gail's in this movie and she has a lot of trauma that she's trying to work through, and I think moving forward she has a lot of self-hatred, honestly, like built throughout the years. Like she knows what she's been doing. She knows like anyone who's involved in her life is gone. Like she doesn't have friends that are around all the time. She doesn't have a partner to be with because you know the past two partners she had, you know, were brutally murdered by Ghostface. Like it was just a big thing that kept happening in her life. So you start to see this trauma, and she's still the person she was, but she's more of like a broken down version. Like you can see that she's not into her craft anymore, which is interesting to see. And I very much like this, and I want to see more of this. And it just the background that you're getting with these characters, like it makes this movie sound like it's so great. But like I said, once you get to that ending, it's like, what were they thinking? What was the direction that they were trying to go in? And I understand, you know, we all have our thoughts and opinions, and we can say whatever we want, but I just don't understand what it was supposed to be. Um, I feel like they could have gone in a better direction. But let's get to how they can fix these issues. Because I feel like they will make another movie. I feel like they will make a Scream 8. And if they do, more to them. I hope they fix it. I feel like in order for them to fix this, they'd have to go into another movie and they'd have to use a character that should have appeared in this movie to convince these people to attack, because it was way too easy for them to have like a simple motive. But if you have a character in the background that's like, hey, like leaving the books around, you know, hey, I'm in the asylum, like talking to this guy, like, yeah, this Sydney Prescott girl, man, like, who is she to be famous and have everything she ever wants, and like, all because she was a target of her own past, you know, like, start to slowly build breadcrumbs in these people and just to know, like, there's a bigger thing to this. You can make it a cult. You can say that these guys were members of a cult that's meant out there to finish the job of Stumacher and then bring out a 9 where Stu is the killer. Like you can always go in a direction like that. And I know it doesn't sound the greatest, you know, I'm going off the dome right now. Didn't really think about it too much, but this is a way where you can fix this movie and just be like, okay, so in the later movies it's more understandable. And even for Gail, like it'll give her a bigger opportunity to right wrongs. And you know what? She might have come to an end, she might not. There's still a lot to dig deep in with these movies, and I hope they do eventually like make a sequel, and I hope the writer for that does more of a benefit for the franchise. Like I said, I very much enjoyed this. I didn't hate this movie, but it is something I do suggest to watch at home. But again, that's all just my opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you do, that's great. We're able to have different opinions, and you know what? I might like it more after hearing your opinion of the movie. You might like it less because of my opinion. But at the end of the day, we can always come back and talk about movies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, give me a like. I'm not used to saying that, but you know what? Trying new things. So you guys have a good one.